Hi, hello everybody, this is Maltanan once again, and today we're going to talk about my shape extruder. And the reason for that is because, aside of all those wonderful comments from people saying that it's a lifesaver and that's just very useful and stuff like that, which I really appreciate and I really like that kind of comments, there are some people saying that it is like useless and that it's fake and that you cannot do anything with this because when you rotate the camera 90 degrees to the side, then you get the object, the object becomes flat and such. So basically this tutorial is for them mostly, but also for all of you guys who really enjoy this preset. Because maybe it will just show you how it may be used in real life situations. So what I wanted to say is that I've got two words for you, all you guys who don't like this preset and say that it's fake, and those words are: of course it's fake. What did you expect? It's a fake 3D in fake 2.5D application. So what did you expect? It's not like you're going to have 3D meshes and 3D objects like you do in Photoshop, although that would be cool, but that's not the point. Okay, so let's move on. I'll just show you what cool stuff you can create aside of the obvious 3D text. Let me just open up a project that I prepared. This is from a promo that I did some time ago for one of the educational channels. Of course, I cannot mention the channel right now, but I think you'll get the point. And let's say you're doing a promo for an educational channel that is called Discoveries, for example, and that they asked you to do a 3D logo, which is this, as you see. We have a text and we have this 3D globe, which is pretty nice. And of course we have a null and we have a camera, and for example we can zoom to this and the globe just passes around the camera, and then you can rotate, for example, rotate the null object around the z-axis, z rotation, and do stuff like that. And this is of course 3D, so yeah. So you see everything works. And let's just repeat the basic steps of creating a 3D text, because from the comments I see some of you guys still have troubles with applying my preset to a shape layer. So let's do it quickly once again. First of all, we create a shape layer. We need a shape layer to apply the extrusion. But if we're going to do a text like Discoveries, then we just have to set up the text. Let's make it full resolution, yeah, and let's make it bigger. And text is a good point to start, because now you can just right click on the text layer and create click on create outlines, which you probably don't see right now because of the screen recording, but it's there. You click on create outlines and there you go, we have a nice outlines as a shape layer from the Discoveries text. And now a good thing to do to keep everything tidy is to create a new group, and let's call this group text, for example, and let's move all the shapes into this group. And now we can easily apply my 3D shape extruder onto this layer. And first of all, let's click on the 3D switch and let's create a new camera, because that's what we're going to need. 35mm preset, that's right, okay. And we're ready to go. This newly created group is what this preset creates, what this custom effect creates. And so let's call this Extruder, and we go inside and we can rename this to Extrusion. And now a good thing to keep the face separate from the extrusion is to duplicate the text group and then move it just above the extrusion. And there you go. We have a nice extrusion. Of course, it's white at the moment, so it blends with the face of the text. So now we can, for example, change the face, just clicking on the fill color right here, and let's set a nice red color, like dark red or something like that. And yeah, and there we go, basically. And now we have a camera, we can rotate around it and do pretty cool stuff with it. Of course, we have all those settings that I've showed you in the previous tutorial. When we set the density, which is basically how often the extrusion is going to appear. If the density is low, then the depth creates a more intense extrusion. So now we can decrease it to like 15 maybe, and this of course renders much faster. Okay, so this is it. And now, to answer the most commonly asked question about this 3D shape extruder is, how do one create a 3D logo? And that's what we are going to do right now. So let's create a new project, new composition, like this, yes, full resolution. And here I have the Adobe logo, which I hope no one is going to sue me for using it. But on the other hand, why should they, right? What's the best way to show a 3D extrusion on a logo in Adobe After Effects? Of course, it's Adobe logo. So I hope no hard feelings there from Adobe. And let's create a new solid like this, make comp size, and let's go to Illustrator and we select the logo. So select all paths. Go to Edit Copy or Control C, of course. And now let's make sure we have a layer selected, and let's choose Edit, Paste. And right now we have set up a mask in the shape of the logo, which is good, right? We're halfway through. So now, how do we move all those masks to a shape layer? Well, unfortunately, you would have to do that by hand, and this is the way I was doing it for a couple of times. I was going to write a script to do that, but fortunately, someone posted me a tip that Jeff here from redefinery.com already built that kind of scripts, and you can get it on his website, which address you can see in here. And it's called Masks to Shapes, I believe, somewhere in here. Yeah, it's still under development, but as far as I'm concerned, it works pretty nicely. So just download it and unpack it to any directory you find fit, and then just run it from your After Effects. And this is exactly what I'm going to do right now. So I'm just selecting the layer, going to File, Scripts, Run Script, and here I have it, and click Open, and that's it. As you can see, a new shape layer is created with all the shapes exactly in the same place, and this is pretty nice way to move paths from a logo to After Effects shape layer. So create a new solid, paste it, create a mask, and then just run this beautiful script. But as you can see, we have no colors in this, and we're going to fix it in a second. So let's open up the contents, and we just have to target some paths that we want to fill with the color. And as you can see, we have like 13 shapes, and the first 3 are the Adobe logo itself. So we would like to fill them with color. So let's add a new fill, and as you can see, it's created at the bottom of all the paths. So we just can move it up here, and let me just turn on the transparency and create another one. Fill, move it to the bottom, and set the fill color to black. And this should work, but unfortunately it doesn't. Oh yeah, the color changed for both. That's interesting. So let's just twirl down this controller and set the color to red, and that's it. Okay, great. So now we can do the same thing we did with text. So to keep everything nice and tidy, we can create a new group and call this logo, and let's move everything inside that group like so. Let's click on the 3D switch, create a new camera, 35mm preset, that's okay. And now let's drag our 3D shape extruder onto the shape layer. New group is created, extruder, extrusion, duplicate, so Ctrl D, and move the logo 2 into the extruder group. And that's it. There you have it, a nice 3D logo. We can change the extrusion color for the Adobe text layer, text part of the logo. Let's make it gray. Okay, that's more like it. And there you go, 3D logo. Let's increase the depth to about 50, maybe a little bit more, 60. Yes, that looks fine. And now let me just show you something cool that we can do with this. Maybe let's change the face of the text to white. Okay, much better, I think. And what cool things we can do with this? Imagine that there are even more cool things that we can do. So let's just twirl this down. We don't need it anymore. And remember this reference point that I put into the preset? We are going to take good use of it right now. And let's go to light sweep. I think that's the one. Yes, exactly. And we can set the center of it to be our reference point, which I hope is going to create some cool effects. Oh yeah, pretty damn cool. And of course you can do it by putting a 3D light into the scene, which will work, of course, but having this nice highlight, this light sweep, is also pretty cool, I think. Okay, so now what else? We've got 3D text and we've got 3D logos. What else we can do with this with the 3D shape extruder? Let's move back to the Discoveries project, and let's say that you're doing a whole promotion, so a TV spot and a DVD cover, and you know, all that stuff. So let's just say that now you're being asked to do a pack shot of this of the DVD that is coming out with this Discoveries episodes or whatever. And of course you can use a very cool plugin that I've introduced in the simple object removal tutorial, which is called Obvious Effects Copy Image. And you can just copy this, go back to Photoshop, paste it in to a new document, to a new image, like so, and then you can create those cool DVD covers and DVD face as well. Save them as PNGs, JPEGs, whatever, and then just bring them back to After Effects to create some pack shots. And that's what we're going to do right now. So let's just import them. Okay, so here we go. We've got them both imported in. And first, let's put on the DVD cover. So let's just drag it in. We can scale it down if we like to, and I'd like to scale it down like so. And now let's create a new shape layer, or we can just choose a rectangle tool and make sure we don't have any layers selected, because then we will draw a mask, and if we don't have any layers selected, we will create a new shape layer, and this is exactly what we want. So let's just draw a rectangle on top of this, and we can move the shape layer behind it like so, and that's really it. Let's turn both of these layers to 3D, and let's put a new camera in like so. 35mm preset sounds okay. 3D shape extruder, and let's drag it onto the shape layer. Now we don't see much change in here, but that's probably I didn't set this up correctly. That's right, the rectangle should go into the extrusion group. So right here, oh yeah, now we start seeing something. And here we go, a nice 3D pack shot of the DVD cover, but what about the DVD itself, right? So no problem. Oh, there's one more thing that we can do. You should probably match this, more precise than I did. And a good thing to do is to parent the shape layer to the DVD cover, and maybe even create a null object to be a parent of them all. So let's create a 3D, click on the 3D switch and parent it to a null as well. So now we can just move it, on any axis or not. Yeah, null like this. And we can just log those two, so that kind of thing doesn't happen anymore. And we can rotate it, do all those cool stuff. Of course it becomes flat, but really I've used it so many times already and I never had to rotate so far around the object. So in case you have to, all you can do is you can do it in 3D application, or get yourself Zaxworks Invigorator or whatever is that plugin called. So yeah, let's just move forward to making this CD face extrusion. So right now let's just move this to a side like so, and let's drop in our DVD disc and just scale it down like so. This is the right size, I think. And let's turn those off for a second like so. I'll create a background like a dark blue, because it's easier for me to see it like that. Okay, that's better. And now we can draw a circle going from inside of this CD. So pressing Shift will retain it a perfect circle. Pressing Ctrl will make it draw from the center, and pressing Alt as well will stop it from refreshing all the time. So I hold Ctrl, Shift and Alt, and now I need another finger to press the space bar to aim it correctly, like so. And I think that's about it. So I let go of the space bar and scale it up just a bit, and I think we're good with this. Yes, exactly. Okay, so we have circle number 1. We can get rid of the stroke and fill effects for now, and we can duplicate this. So Ctrl D, and move it below the first circle. And now let's go to the selection tool and scale the first circle down so it matches the inner circle, like so. And now we have to fill them with color, right? So let's fill them with maybe a blue or something like that, bluish, light bluish, that will imitate the face of the CD or whatever. But we have an obvious problem in here, right? We can scale it down right now. And the problem is that we want inner circle to be cut out in the bigger one. So to do that, go to Add, Merge Paths, and let's just set it in here, right above the fill, and we set this to Subtract. And that's it. We have a perfect CD. Very nice. And once again, once this is set up, we can close this into a group like so. Move everything inside that group and apply 3D Shape Extruder with a 3D switch turned on, and move it inside the extrusion group. So let me just twirl it down above this, and this should work pretty nicely. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, seems like it's a 3D, right? Yeah, exactly. So now all we have to do is move it below the DVD disc itself and turn the 3D switch on the disc as well. Parent the shape to the disc and make a new null object, and parent the texture to that null, and unlock those two. We can even hide them if we like to. Yeah, that's a good idea, I think. So let's just hide this and this and this and this and make them shy layers. Where's the shy switch? Here. Ta-da! Well, this is obviously too extruded just too much, so let's just decrease it to like 10 or something. Yes, and that already looks much better, I think. Don't you agree? Yeah, so now let's turn the cover back on, and maybe we'll do a little animation. So yeah, I think that we don't need to move the cover, but what if we would like to move this CD inside of the cover and then make it roll out of it? So let's move it back, push it back just a bit, like so, line it up and move it inside. It's a bit too large, so we can just scale it down with the null object. And remember, these are all vectors, so of course with the exception of the texture, but the texture was pretty big. So let's just do a quick animation. So position keyframes and Shift R for rotation keyframes, and set a keyframe for position and Z rotation. And let's go forward in time to 3 seconds. Move it in here. Make it rotate like what? Yeah, like one time. Zoom, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think it should move a bit further. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, and I have one more thing that I have prepared for this tutorial, which is pretty much the same as everything else. Just making a shape, making a texture if you like to, and then just applying the 3D Shape Extruder. But it's a kind of cool thing, so I thought that I will share it with you guys. And what it is that actually our company Polygon.pl, Polygon Studio, has introduced a new exciting product, that you can get on the market, and it's a portable MP3 and video player, which is called, ta-da, MyPod. Yeah, that's right. So this is the MyPod, and the thing we can do with MyPod is we can make it look like a 3D my pod, right? Right, and to do that we need a rounded rectangle tool, and just draw a nice rounded rectangle around it. We should probably match the radius of the roundness on the corners a bit better, but that's, that's not the case. That's not the point in this tutorial, right? Make the fill color to black. That's right. Move it below and add the 3D shape extruder to this and move the rectangle into the extrusion. Make it a 3D layer. Make a new camera. Okay. And just parent it all to each other and to a null. Which is just, a good habit to do. It's a good thing to do, to parent things to a nulls, because they're much more convenient in controlling the 3D space. I forgot to turn the 3D switch on this one. Okay, so right now let's take a look on how it looks. Hey, it looks pretty cool. It's a good thing when you do a promo or a commercial where you have a product like my phone or a cell phone or a microwave or whatever, and you just like to rotate it slightly, just like that. So that's exactly the place where 3D shape extruder comes in handy. Yeah, once again we can apply the light sweep to this, but I need to unlock the layers. Yeah, light sweep. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Sweep intensity. Maybe let's add some thickness and increase the width and change it to smooth. That's right. Let's lock this palette for now, and we have to use a pick whip to point the center to be our reference point from the 3D shape extruder, like so. And now we can rotate, can orbit the camera around and have that cool 3D look, which we all love and which we all looked for all those years while working in After Effects. So there you go, guys. I hope you find this tutorial useful, and that those of you who don't like the preset will change their minds, I hope. And I would really like to see some works that you do using my preset, so just don't hesitate to drop me an email or a comment on the website. And oh, by the way, since I didn't have much time to record new tutorials during the few weeks, I thought that maybe I'll do some upgrades to the web page, to my blog. And the thing I did is this loose change section, a new loose change section in which I basically write what I am doing right now, or some just thoughts on any subject, just like a small blog entries. And the cool thing about that is that I can do it from my desktop, like so. And this is provided by twitter.com, and the application is called Twitteroo, I think, if that's the way to pronounce it, Twitteroo. And I just click refresh and you'll just see what I wrote just a second ago, and you can basically track what I'm doing right now. Yeah, just finished recording tutorial less than a minute ago. Well, that's a bit of a lie, because I'm still recording it, but you get the point. And yeah, I'm waiting for your comments, and yeah, don't hesitate to click on this little button in here, which keeps this site alive and makes me record new tutorials, because otherwise I have to stay at my day job and do all sorts of things that I don't really enjoy doing. Yeah. Okay, guys, it was a pleasure once again. This is Maltanan from maltanan.com and from polygon.pl. See you next time. Cheers.